and welcome to Dear Esther. Esther. I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll figure this out as we go along. But I wanted to try a different game, something a little bit more serious, because I tend to joke around a lot, and I don't know. I kind of wanted to, you know, just wait. Director's commentary. What's that? I wanted to try to see how I deal with serious stuff. I mean, granted, some of the Telltale games are serious, but I just joke around, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Dear Esther,
Esther.
the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
This is a very beautiful game. Okay, so I'm assuming I need to go in here. Oh. It's a little weird. A little creepy. Alright. It's nice that I have a flashlight. Can I run? I don't think so. Oh. Oh no, that's zooming in. So is that. Okay, so all my frickin'... all those dudes. That does zoom. That does zoom. Okay, so everything zooms. That's good to know. What is that? Anyway, yeah, I wanted to try something a little different. I can't. Okay. I don't think I can run, so you guys are gonna have to put up with me being slow. I don't really know a whole lot about this game. I kind of looked at the trailer beforehand, but it didn't really tell me a whole lot. But this is made from the same people as Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which I'm disappointed that I never concluded that series. I only did like one episode. And you guys even seem to like it too, because I think that was one of my... What is picking up? That just happened to be one of the videos that actually got the most views on my channel, so... Hopefully, I can... Oh, I better watch out there. Hopefully I can, get that back downloaded and I can bring that back to you guys.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Oh shoot, I better not fall down there. Okay, so I think I can do anything in here, can I? It's really dark. Yeah. Nice little view here, though. Okay, so I might have to go back. And just... because there's this path split up. One that went uphill, and I think one went down on the beach. I could try going over here. What happens if I fall? Do I die? Can I fall? Maybe I was supposed to come over here. I didn't die, so that's good. I probably should have at least twisted my ankle. It's a crab trap. Yep, these are crab traps. Not that I do any fishing. I want to apologize. I hadn't gotten to uploading anything recently, and I I've kind of been slacking off on that.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
What is this? It's getting the path split off. Maybe I could have gone that way. Oh well. I'm gonna stay on the beach. Even though it's probably gonna lead to a dead end.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Guess that's dead end. What the heck is that? It's probably just a rock, but that is a car door. So someone must have driven off. Okay, that's a dead end. I'll have to go back. Okay, so what I've gathered so far is that shipwrecked came to this island. I'm not sure if I'm the character who is currently writing this letter or if I'm reading it. I might be the one making it. It's someone named Esther. I'm sure in time we'll find out who this Esther is. Maybe a love. A significant other, perhaps. Would really be heartbreaking if it was a child. Like my child, and I just wasn't coming home. Send out a message in a bottle, hopefully someone would get it. It might storm soon. If I had to critique this game already, I'd say give me the option to run. But that's probably not what it's meant for. Probably meant for you to take it nice and slow. Enjoy everything while you can. Actually, I'm gonna go over this way real quick. Oh, okay, that's where I fell off there. Okay. Man. The wind is picking up.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight, he landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
I'm assuming your reasons are to get back to your loved one. I think this will be a journey of how to get off this island.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid, or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
So, am I not trying to get off this island? Am I trying to stay here? He mentioned an infection. So, I'm
We are
sick.
not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Okay, so that makes me think it is in fact a significant other that this is being sent to. Or at least written to, doesn't necessarily have to be sent to. I really hope I'm going the right way. I'm following the path just fine. So this should be the right way. I just don't want to get turned around. Ominous storm coming this way.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old.
That must be the ship.
Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Okay. I have a feeling I need to go in this creepy looking
I find
cave.
myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
There's some intense paintings on this cave. Okay, is this just gonna take me? Yeah, it's just gonna take me back. Okay, so yeah, I'm assuming that will be the ship that wrecked. That's over there. It's a really narrow path. It's a nice little stream now. I think I just... Yep, that is a light. I assume I'm heading towards that eventually.
I've become convinced I'm not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
Okay, I need to go this way. Actually, hang on. Is there something over here? It looks like... This runs really smoothly. I like it. Whoa. Okay.
Come back.
Okay, so that's just sudden death. And I got a trophy for that. I got a trophy for dying. Okay. We'll just, hang on, what? Okay, I took that way, okay. I got a little turned around there for a second. I don't know how, I just did. Where'd my music go? It was a little more peaceful, now it's just eerie. Oh yeah, this is a little unsettling. Loading, okay. Thought I died there for a second. And I got another trophy.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Oh. Two more ships. So I'm not the only one who's ever gotten stuck here. Oh wow. This thing is torn up. Am I able to get on the ship? I should probably just stay on the path. Looks like these ones have been here a long time.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Whoa. These markings, I would assume, have some kind of significance. I'm probably just too stupid to realize it. But yeah, there should be a way on the boat. Go explore. Okay, not able to go out there. Doesn't sound like this thing is very sturdy. So am I just not able to get on there? not. Alright then. Yeah, okay. Let's go this way. The buoy out there. It lights up. Probably to keep ships from wrecking, but it's not doing very good. Or maybe these ships is why that's there. But who's here to put it there? And also the lighthouse that I saw earlier.
All night the boy has kept me lucid. I sat, when I was at the very edge of despair, when I thought I would never unlock the secret of the island, I sat at the edge, and I watched the idiot boy blink through the night. He's mute, and he's retarded, and he has no thought in his metal head but to blink each wave and each minute aside until the morning comes and renders him blind as well as deaf-mute. In many ways, we have much in common.
Okay, the way you sound like boy. But he was talking about that buoy, I'm assuming. What is that? It's just above everything. Kind of just watching over the island. Is that the way I came in? Yeah. But if I remember right, I assume there was a way. I might just be going in circles here. Because I know I came up this way, but I'm pretty sure I saw another path. Or the one I just came off of might have been the path I'm thinking about. Yeah, because that's where I came in. Okay. I need to go up there. So I'm assuming I gotta stay left. I just missed it. It's unfortunate that I couldn't find a way on that boat. Would have loved to explore in it. Honestly, it probably would get me killed in real life if I did that. I'd just end up doing something stupid to just make it collapse upon itself. Over there. Okay. So, there's no way over there. It's over there. Right there. Alright. That is my bad, guys. Man. Looks pretty realistic, too. Okay, I go slower uphill. Good to know. much slower.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital.
Oh.
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
I would absolutely hate to have kidney stones. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Oh man. That is intense. For sure I see water down there, but I am not going down that. Is there a way I can just get up from here? Yeah, I don't know, maybe if I fall down there I'll get another trophy. Oh, a house up there.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
So long pathway up. I'm getting closer to that light though.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Oh. Sad. Okay, I thought I saw something moving up here when I was climbing up.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave.
Jeez.
Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Huh. Oh man, that view. What are these? probably just to guide me on my way. So I probably have to go down there, but I'm gonna take a look in here first. But I still want to miss anything. Oh wow, it's a long way down. Ooh, I should not fall down that.
In a footnote, the editor comments that at this point, Donnelly was going insane as syphilis tore through his system like a drunk driver. He's not to be trusted. Many of his claims are unsubstantiated, and although he does paint a colourful picture, much of what he says may have been derived directly from his fever. But I've been here, and I know, as Donnelly did, that this place is always half imagined. Even the rocks and caves will shimmer and blur with the right eyes.
Alright, great. So Donnelly was going insane.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Assuming I'm heading in there. Well, regardless what it wants me to do, I'm going in there. Like I said before, I don't want to miss anything.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, wintered tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Okay, so we definitely are going into the cave. Oh, hey, there's one of the candles. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, no. I did not mean to do that. I wanted to go up first. Let's just try and take a peek. Okay, but there's another chapter completed, though.
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing in constantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Oh man. So I fell big time. There's no going back up. At least not from there. What's that? Oh.
They'd stopped the traffic back as far as the Sandford Junction and come up the hard shoulder like radio signals from another star. It took 21 minutes for them to arrive. I watched Paul time it to the second on his watch.
Oh. Wow. Whoa. Assuming I'm going down. Oh man. Better watch my step. Don't want to slip back down. mushrooms? Yeah, they are.
I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
This guy must be a writer, because he is really good at describing things. This cave is intense. Beautiful and everything, but man, just imagine how much work was put into just designing the cave. I mean, never mind all the work that was put into just, you know, making the game in general, but just drawing and designing this entire thing. It's a lot more than I can do. Man, what are these?
This cannot be the shaft they threw the goats into. It cannot be the landfill where the parts of your life that would not burn ended up. It cannot be the chimney that delivered you to the skies. It cannot be the place where you rained back down again to fertilize the soil and make small flowers in the rocks.
This is something. Oh, man. What is this? Away from being a pity. I can hardly read that. I'm not sure if it's just me or it's just, you know, over time it's probably just kind of gotten worse for wear. I wonder what these things are. Am I going on it? Yep. Alright. Am I going back down? That's a yeah. Whoa. What? It's a hospital bed. There's pennies on it. What is going on? Did I black out? There's a light at the end of this tunnel. Is this metaphorical? Am I already dead? I'm just passing through. What? Where did I? Oh, okay. I came through there. Okay. That moonlight. Man. It's just beautiful.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
Is there a person up there? Is that Esther?
We shall begin to assemble our own version of the North Shore. We will scrawl in dead languages and electrical diagrams and hide them away for future theologians to muse and mumble over. We will send a letter to Esther Donnelly and demand her answer. We will mix the paint with ashes and tarmac and the glow from our infections. We will paint a moon over the Sanford Junction and blue lights falling like stars along the hard shoulder.
So Esther is Donnelly. Or Donnelly is just the last name and Esther could be his wife. But who am I? Am I Donnelly?
Chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. He could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
They're lights from heaven above, around happens above around him. Okay, but I'm pretty sure I need to go up there because I think I saw a person. It had to have been a person, right? Maybe it's Esther. I can just give Esther the note, or the letter, in person, you know?
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Am I just gonna... Hang on. Is this where I start? No. No, it's not. The letters. Holy crap. What is this?
Come back.
I died. Okay. That's not good. Another trophy. Okay, so this is not the right way. I end up dying if I go in there. Can I keep going this way? Maybe I should have jumped in that pit that I saw earlier. I might have gotten another trophy from it. Oh well. If I really wanted it that bad, I can just replay it later. Okay, I can't go that way. Ah, I go up. So I came from down there, I think. Yeah. Am I going to get up there? I think I might. Yeah, halfway through doing this, I just figured I'd just do the entire thing.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
That is a different voice. I'm coming.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
There was someone here. Whoa. was proceeding on his journey. Okay, on we go then. Near something.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
I'm almost there, Light. I told you I was coming. I am coming.
Headlights reflected in these retinas. Too long in the tunnels of my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface, but the gulls are not here to carry them back to their nests. I've become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
It came to pass that as up we go. Oh man. Just look at that for a second. That is beautiful.
A gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking, old bread and gull bones, old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink, old Esther walking with our children, old Paul as ever, old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Wind is getting intense.
run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
No. You don't mean.
Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be
I'm not
written all
controlling it
across this
anymore.
island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Okay. Alright, so that was Dear Esther. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time in the next video.